You know, they're selling y'all wolf tickets, people. You're eating them right up.
Hey, pussy, are you still there?
I back. Trust me, I back.
But I'm not impressed by your performance.
You'll do nothing. You'll do nothing. Shut your fucking mouth, you'll do nothing. You'll do fucking nothing. Not one of you'll do nothing.
I'll tell you what, bro. You know, I was out there, I was fighting all the hitters, bro. You ain't fought no hitters.
Come on, guys. It's normal.
I'm not saying I would fight you. I would kill you.
John, do you think? John, do you think I'm just gonna sit there and let you kill me, John? I mean, really? No, don't be scared. I mean,
I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The champ does what the fuck he wants.
I beat you, live to death. I mean, maybe that's your job, but where I come from, you know, people like that get slapped.
That's fucking illegal.
You just shook up the world. How's that feel?
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Yeah, this is a simulated death match. And you haven't simulated anybody's death yet.
I said it last year. We're not here just to take part. We're here to take over.
What is the game plan going in against him?
The game plan is you go in there, hit him with some good shit, don't get hit, and come home with a pocket full of cash.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Everybody's on steroids. The whole UFC, everybody.
I'm gonna go home tonight. I'm gonna drink a Coors Light. That's a Coors Light because Bud Light won't pay me nothing.
Do you want to be a fighter? That is my question.
Any of you radio personalities think you want smoke? Call me Mr. Chimney. I want smoke.
Yes. What is up? What is up, MCR family? Another daily edition of the show live on YouTube, 5 p.m. Eastern. Obviously, podcast for on Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, etc. Hit the like button of the show. Subscribe, patreon.com/Mixed Combat Radio. Help support the show in any financial way. I am Matt, the hipster hunter. Hipsters here. Haters beware.
I want smoke.
Wow. Obviously, you clicked on the video. You know, you look at the title. You know what the show's gonna be about. And you know, for those that are watching maybe on playback, I want you to understand the timing of this. So I spent all day trying to get a show in order, trying to get some topics. I'm thinking to myself, man, there's nothing out there. Like we're the Friday before a mega UFC event. We have a bunch of boxing cards, and really there's not a lot of news out there. And then all of a sudden, merely, 40 minutes before the show started, the bombshell, let me get my Funk Flex bomb, or was that Clue? It might be a Clue bomb. Anyways, obviously the bombshell that is Canelo Alvarez versus Rocky Fielding for the WBA regular super middleweight title. I don't know really what else to say about that. It's definitely going to delve into this one as obviously this is mainly the topic of the show. Like there's not much else to talk about, to be quite honest. Call in 323-870-4051. Press 1 to get in the queue if you are international. If you are a Rocky Fielding fan out there, email me, mixedcombatradio@gmail.com. Wow, just insane stuff. Benjamin Franklin with that question. Go check out our last show, which I think was on Wednesday, which was our preview of it. And that's the first fight I talk about on the preview. So go check that one out. But for this one, I'm still in a state of shock, to be honest. I know there's a lot of people on boxing Twitter getting upset, getting angry. Some people already defending Canelo. And I don't know where I stand, to be quite honest, yet. I don't have a full-fledged opinion on this. This is all very new to me, and let's be all honest here, completely out of nowhere. I don't think any of us were expecting him to, A, move up to 168 for a one-off, because that's what it seems to be. We're going to get into, obviously, the particulars of this fight, because it is a odd one. And on top of that, fighting Rocky Fielding. Like, none of those things were expected. It was just interesting to me. You know, like, this news was sudden, out of the blue. None of us expected it, and it's still developing. All the information we have right now is that Canelo Alvarez versus Rocky Fielding will happen at MSG December 15th this year. It will be shown on Sky Sports. I forget if he said box office. We have a clip from Eddie Hearn that we'll play on talking about networks and such. but I believe it will be on Sky Sports and obviously a unknown U.S. Network or streaming service will be attached to it. So other than that, not much else is known. Though let's just get straight to the news of it because Canelo is the one that announced it. It is crazy. Benjamin saying breaking news. Do we have more breaking news today? No way, Benjamin. Hold on. Benjamin with some breaking news here. Let me see if it's true. If that's true, I'm going to be hyped. We have potentially some breaking news. I do not see it anywhere on Twitter yet. Tell me a link. Benjamin, tell me an outlet to look at for that breaking news. Because if that's true, we definitely need to talk about that as well. But let's get back to the gist of it. Canelo Alvarez versus Rocky Fielding. Whenever Benjamin tells me a outlet to go to or a source to go to, that'd be nice. But Canelo Alvarez going on Twitter and saying, let's get the dramatic music out. Should it be dramatic music? Yeah, let's go dramatic music. With great emotion, I announce my next fight. Next December 15th at MSG in New York, taking a big challenge in my career and representing the WBC as the 160-pound champion. I will now fight for the world title for the 168-pound versus Rocky Fielding, the current WBA champion, and 2 boxing glove emojis. It is what it is. Am I right? This news came out, and I'm like, okay, interesting. Canelo Alvarez will stay champion, not vacating any of his belts from what we know. He'll be moving up and facing, obviously, Rocky Fielding. There would be a regular champion, not the super champion. That is Callum Smith. And this is all the information we really have at this point. However, I do want to play a clip from Eddie Hearn and IFL TV, so credit to them. Go check out that interview. It's a quick one as well. But let's get to Eddie Hearn's specific, comments about it and more information about how we in the U.S. might be able to see it.
Are we assuming that this fight's going to be on DAZN?
No, that hasn't been. I don't think the US broadcast has been announced yet. Of course, we're in the race, as everybody is, on Sky Sports in the UK, and we'll let Golden Boy deal with that. We'll have talks with Golden Boy, and like I said, we're in the race to try and get that fight, of course, as every other broadcaster is in America, and we'll see what happens.
So that is, I think, the most interesting talking point out of this fight, because obviously the fight on itself is not a good one. Canelo Alvarez should knock out Rocky Fielding within 6-7 rounds. And I'm only giving Rocky Fielding that length of time mainly due to his height and weight advantage against Canelo Alvarez. But we've seen Callum Smith knock out Rocky Fielding in vicious fashion. And I'm sorry, wins over Taiwan Zhang doesn't really correct that memory in my mind. Rocky Fielding has good fundamental technique, but he's not like a true elite champion, in my opinion. I feel like that's pretty obvious. Canelo Alvarez is a legit pound-for-pound talent. That is several levels above even the elite champions in the world. So Canelo should be able to slip all of basically Rocky Fielding's shots. I think Rocky Fielding's going to have a really tough time landing any sort of significant offense on Canelo, who has phenomenal defense and has developed it and fine-tuned it with each and every fight. And we've seen that with the Triple G fights, for example. And then on top of that, Canelo does have power. I know we really haven't seen that many knockouts from Canelo, but he's also faced a lot of durable opponents. Chavez, Liam Smith, for example, even guys that he has finished have been durable. Triple G, obviously, never been hurt basically in all of his pro career. The only time he has been vaguely stunned, and that's being very loose just because, good body shots from Canelo, was with Canelo. So I think Canelo has the power to finish Rocky Fielding relatively early in the fight. The length, the size of Fielding may give Canelo some issues. But this is a tune-up. This is a way for Canelo not to cut as much weight, grab a WBA regular title, which now in the boxing media gets counted a lot as a official title. It just does. Look at the way boxing media talked about Triple G's title defenses and how many times we, because I'm including myself in that group, counted the WBA regular title. So Canelo's smart here. Get an easy tune-up in MSG, a quick payday, get that, another belt, in your cabinet. And on top of that, you don't have to cut as much weight. I think that's the big factor here. I did not think in 2018 I would be saying, man, I really wish we had Canelo Alvarez versus David Lemieux instead. But I do. Shout out to Golden Boy. No offense to Rocky Fielding fans, but I would much rather have a David Lemieux fight than Rocky Fielding. I don't know. I'm not hyped on it at all. But however, I think the only thing I'm really hyped on or interested by in this announcement really is that U.S. network, as Eddie Hearn says, and how DAZN is obviously bidding for it. Marcos Villegas of Fight Hub has recently posted a video. I've not watched it, but he posted an interview with Steven Espinoza talking about how they are pursuing Canelo aggressively. Also, of course, I would assume ESPN, Bob Arum, that conglomerate is pursuing Canelo, of course. God knows where this ends up, but I think that's the interesting factor. I think that obviously the Rocky Fielding attachment to Eddie Hearn made all of us at first go, oh, he's going to DAZN. What a shocker. And then obviously it's come out now that there's more of a bidding war going on per Eddie Hearn by way of IFL. So where is Canelo actually going to end up? And is this a one-off fight, or is it going to be a new fight in a long-term contract with a new network? That is what I'm highly interested about in this matchup. Not anything about in the ring, etc. Let's be honest. Louis, shout out to Louis, good Patreon supporter there, saying Lemieux wouldn't win a round. I've been seeing you wave the flag for Rocky Fielding, man. Rocky Fielding won't win a second of their fight. A second, not a round. Any literal second of that fight, Rocky Fielding will not win. He'll be outfought and outboxed every single second of their matchup. Both are tune-ups. One's a showcase. Let's be absolutely clear about that. The prospects ain't happy. Fielding is getting his moment in the limelight. Of course. I mean, here's the thing. Obviously, not necessarily you guys listening right now, but others out there, people on the internet, of course. They perceive, especially the Fielding fans or UK fans, the casuals, Eddie Hearn fans, whatever you want to say, whatever label you want to give, they infer criticism of this matchup as criticism of Rocky Fielding. And while there is criticism of Rocky Fielding's, level of ability, it's not a diss on him as a person. Shout out to him getting a paycheck. This is Price for Anthony Day, and he's fighting the biggest guy in the sport. So I don't blame him at all. I blame Golden Boy. They are the ones that have all of the blame, and obviously partly Canelo. But Rocky Fielding, Eddie Hearn, no, they're the B-side. They're the ones that all of a sudden got this huge opportunity. I can't blame them at all for that, for taking this opportunity when everyone else would have as well. Let's not act like every single person at 154, 160, 168, if they're offered a Canelo fight, they don't take it immediately. Let's not act like that. So shout out to Rocky Fielding getting that bag, but God, what a shitty matchup. And hopefully we get some sort of finality about the Canelo Alvarez network free agency with this news. Matt, how much will Fielding make you think? Asked Louis in the chat. Man, I don't know. I don't think he's going to make a lot in terms of, Triple G money. He's not making more than $5 million, in my opinion, $10 million, in my opinion. I can see him getting a $2 or $3 million guarantee tops, but not really a lot on the back end. Let's say Triple G, I think in their first fight with Canelo, he got about $3 million, I think, guarantee. But it was reported he got upwards of, 5 times that on the back end. Rocky Fielding isn't getting that bonus on pay-per-view. He's not getting that. If this is pay-per-view, that's another thing. I don't know if pay-per-view money is going to be a factor here. If it's DAZN, which there are some people that are speculating that, I I don't know how it's going to work out. Are they going to give just huge, massive guarantees and really no backroom checks? That's sort of an Eddie Hearn way of going about it. I wouldn't be surprised. But also, if it's ESPN pay-per-view, there's a lot of moving parts there about money. I don't know. Prospect saying $2 million is life-changing. Of course it is. But I'm saying he's not making a giant amount. Like, he's not making Triple G money with Canelo. Heck, I don't think he even makes probably Liam Smith money against Canelo. I could be wrong about that. I would probably have to go back and look at the purses for those respective guys. Because remember, Canelo fights, unlike, let's say, AJ fights, for example, for maybe you listeners in the UK, their reported guarantee is very low. Like, remember, Canelo Triple G was 5-3, but they each got magnitudes and more on the back end. For fights like this, let's say, I think a good comparison is like a Liam Smith fight. Liam Smith probably got some on the back end, but not nearly as much, while he still got a pretty high guarantee. Louis saying this split is probably 80-20. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's... But then again, 80-20 is still, like you said, and we were saying like $2 million. Like, that's still a pretty good split. And also, fight at MSG. I wonder if any of my tri-state area listeners, how they're curious about this. Are they going to go check it out? Speaking a little bit on ticket prices, obviously Wilder Fury, I was going to go to that, and a bunch of us were going to go to that, but those tickets were insanely priced. Like, the cheapest was $200 plus, so we're not going. I hope that there's somehow figure out a way to have cheaper tickets, in the mecca of boxing, as they say, but definitely cannot wait to see what happens there. But attached to that a little bit slightly, Mike Coppinger coming out, trying to, he wants that smoke.
I want smoke!
With DAZN and Eddie saying, sources Anthony Joshua's win over Alexander Povetkin generated around 15,000 live viewers on DAZN in the U.S. That figure doesn't include subscribers who watch it on demand. The heavyweight title bout was DAZN's initial offering stateside, and a free trial is available. Eddie Hearn then replies saying, you need a new source ASAP. Oh. But actually, to be honest, he's probably right. Coppinger, first off, I trust Coppinger more now than I've had in the past. I'm just being honest about it. And on top of that, fights in the UK don't necessarily draw the biggest amount of live viewers on streaming services. Like, you can just look at, let's say, YouTube streaming fights, like Tyson Fury, Carl Frampton fights that have been streamed on YouTube. They don't pull in really massive live viewership on Showtime's YouTube page, which has a higher built-in subscription rate, or subscription base, I should say, than DAZN. So 15,000 live viewers, again, not on demand, not the total amount of views, just the live amount. 15,000 sounds about right. That's not far-fetched, in my opinion. But definitely going to be interesting to see, going forward, the reporting on this, how it changes. If it's a little more transparent from Eddie Hearn to DAZN, that would be interesting. Because, again, Eddie Hearn says you need a new source ASAP, but he doesn't really counter it with any information. He makes a joke. And I think that's indicative of something, in my opinion. Angel Serjovia, I hope I pronounced that right. If I'm wrong, I highly apologize. Saying, is this real? Who the fuck is that guy?
Who the fuck is that guy?
Yeah, shout out to Rocky Fielding. If you missed that part of the show, you can just rewind it. Or you can call in 323-870-4051. Press 1 to get in the queue. Because otherwise, it's going to be a quick show. Because like I said, there's not a lot of news out there. Obviously, the title does talk about UFC 229 weigh-ins and such. There's not much to talk about. Again, this was maybe a day I was going to skip on the show, but obviously Canelo Alvarez is a massive, massive figure in this sport who generates a lot of interest. So this fight is, whether we like it or not, a massive fight in the sport just because that's Canelo attached to it. So hit that like button, subscribe to the show, leave a comment. Louis saying Fielding was in line to fight DeGale before this cropped up. And look at the change of fortune right there. You go from fighting James DeGale for maybe 6 figures to fighting goddamn Canelo for millions. Salute to Rocky Fielding. That is all I gotta say. Louis Garibay saying bum fight, strip his belts. That's not gonna happen. It's Canelo Alvarez. and there's no Triple G in the rings, forcing that, stripping on the belt, to be honest. And plus, he was allowed a voluntary defense. This is a voluntary defense. Alina, creative differences. That is why I'm no longer working there. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to play the outro music. If any of you guys want to call in, I'll stop the outro music. We can go to callers. Louis saying, Matt, who you got? Catterall, O'Hara, Davis. I'm picking Jack Catterall slightly. Davies, though, he could play spoiler. I'll be honest. I'm not impressed by Catterall. I'm just not. Should be a good fight, like you said, but definitely not a fight that I'm really hyped on. I'll be just quite honest. But anyways, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. You can call in and keep the show going if you want, or we're just going to move on and head out to the weekend. Obviously, tomorrow, tons of fights, tons of action to get to. Live fight chats, immediate reactions, the whole like here on YouTube Live. So make sure you tune into that one. What else? Patreon.com/Mixhammer Radio. Help support the show financially. I'm Matt the Hipster Hunter. So I'm at Matt Hunter MCR, all platforms. If you listen on podcasts, drop that iTunes review. I love that shit. We had a 1-star review, our first bad review. That was interesting. If you have not heard what it is, check out yesterday's show. If you want to see any of my reviews, or not reviews, I should say previews of this weekend's action, yesterday's show as well, go back and check it out. It's on YouTube, it's on podcast form. Cover UFC 229, the Zone Mega Weekend with World Boxing Super Series, Matchroom USA's first card. Jared Miller coming in at 317 pounds. Oh my God, that is bad. Potential lunatic saying Dubois versus Kevin Johnson. I forgot to talk about that fight. Dubois should win that one relatively easily. Let's be completely honest there. Shout out to Daniel Dubois, one of the best heavyweight prospects in the game. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I am out. See y'all tomorrow.